Welcome to Have More Babies. If you're trying to figure out childhood vaccines right now, maybe feeling a bit lost with all the information, well, you've definitely come to the right place.
It really can feel like a lot, can't it? Trying to sort through everything.
Absolutely. So today, our goal is to really break down the basics. What are the different kinds of vaccines? What's the typical schedule look like? We want you to feel, informed and confident making these choices for your family.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we're drawing heavily on some great expertise today, specifically from Omega Pediatrics and their guide, The Essential Guide to Vaccines, What New Moms Need to Know. It's a really helpful resource.
It really is. And if you want more detail after our chat, definitely check out omegapediatrics.com. Okay, so let's dive in.
Let's do it.
The Omega Guide points out something pretty fundamental right away. There isn't just one type of vaccine. Scientists have developed different kinds.
Right, and the reason it's fascinating, it depends on how the specific virus or bacteria actually works, how it infects us, and how our immune system naturally responds to that specific threat.
So it's tailored in a way, not a one-size-fits-all shot.
Precisely. Our bodies react differently to different invaders, and the vaccines are designed to kind of mimic that interaction in the safest way possible. The guide breaks these down nicely.
Okay, so first up, live attenuated vaccines. Sounds a bit technical.
It does, but the concept is pretty straightforward. They use a weakened or attenuated version of the living virus or bacteria.
Ah, okay, like the MMR vaccine? Measles, mumps, rubella, and chickenpox.
Exactly those. And the big advantage here, especially for generally healthy kids, is they often give really strong, long-lasting immunity. It's like giving the immune system a really good practice run.
A full dress rehearsal.
Kind of, yeah. But because it is a live, albeit weakened virus, the guide is clear. These usually aren't the choice for children with compromised immune systems.
That makes total sense. Okay, so that's one type. What about inactivated vaccines? How are they different?
So with inactivated vaccines, the virus or bacteria has been killed. It's completely deactivated.
Ah, okay. Not just weakened, but killed.
Right. And because it's inactive, the initial immune response might not be quite as robust or long-lasting as with a live vaccine.
So you might need more shots later.
Exactly. That's why these often require booster shots to kind of remind the immune system and maintain that protection over time. Think polio or hepatitis A vaccines. Those are examples of inactivated ones.
Okay, weakened versus killed, needing boosters.
Got it.
Now, the next category sounds a bit complicated. Subunit, recombinant, and conjugate vaccines.
Yeah, those names are a mouthful. But the idea is actually pretty neat. Instead of using the whole germ, whether live or killed, these vaccines use only specific pieces of it.
Pieces? Like what?
Like maybe a specific protein or sugar from the surface of the virus or bacteria, the key identifying parts.
Okay, so just the important bits the immune system needs to recognize.
Exactly. It allows for a very targeted immune response. Examples are the HPV vaccine or the pneumococcal vaccines. And a big plus is that because they're using only these specific pieces, they tend to be very well tolerated by most people.
Huh. A super precise approach then. Interesting. And that brings us to the ones we've heard a lot about more recently, mRNA vaccines.
Yes, mRNA technology is a really significant development. Instead of putting any part of the germ into the body, these vaccines use messenger RNA, or mRNA.
Which is like instructions.
Pretty much, yeah. It gives our own cells temporary instructions to make a harmless piece of protein that looks like a part of the target virus or bacteria.
So our body makes the target piece itself.
For a short time, yes. Then our immune system sees that protein, recognizes it shouldn't be there, and learns how to fight it off. The Pfizer and Moderna COVID-19 vaccines are the big examples here.
And the Omega Guide mentions their high effectiveness.
It does. And what's really exciting is the potential researchers see for using this mRNA technology for other diseases down the road. Lots of research happening there.
Wow, science really moves fast. Now, the guide makes a really crucial point here. Every child is different.
Absolutely critical. While there's a standard recommended schedule, individual factors matter.
So talking to your pediatrician is key for those personalized recommendations, right?
Essential. We're giving the overview, but that one-on-one conversation tailors it to your child.
Okay, great. Let's shift gears then to the recommended schedule itself. The Omega Pediatrics Guide stresses that the schedule isn't random at all.
Not at all. It's based on tons of research figuring out the best timing to give each vaccine for the best possible protection, often when kids are most vulnerable to certain diseases.
It's like a carefully planned defense strategy.
Exactly.
So it starts really early, right? Like at birth.
Yes, the very first one is typically hepatitis B, usually given within the first 24 hours of life.
Wow, that's soon.
It's important because Hep B is a serious liver disease, and babies can actually get it from their mothers during birth if the mother's infected. So that first dose is vital early protection. Then there's a second dose around 1 month, and a third usually between 6 and 18 months.
Okay, Hep B right away. Then things pick up around 2 months old.
They do. By 2 months, babies start getting protection against potentially up to 7 different illnesses. It's quite a leap in protection.
7. Okay, what are they? The first one listed is DTaP.
Right, DTaP. That's a combination vaccine protecting against diphtheria, tetanus, and pertussis, which most people know as whooping cough. All three can be really serious, especially for infants.
Okay, DTaP. Then there's Hib. The guide calls this one a real game changer. Why is that?
Hib stands for Haemophilus influenza type B. Before this vaccine, Hib bacteria were a leading cause of bacterial meningitis in young children.
Meningitis infection around the brain.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And serious ear infections, lung infections, even a dangerous throat swelling called epiglottitis. These could be devastating. The guide even mentions how back then doctors often had to do a lumbar puncture, a spinal tap, on babies with fevers just to rule out meningitis.
Wow.
The Hib vaccine has drastically reduced those severe illnesses and the need for those kinds of invasive tests. It really has been a game changer.
That really puts the impact in perspective. Okay, also at 2 months, polio or IPV and pneumococcal.
Correct. Polio protection is crucial, of course.
Yeah,
And the pneumococcal vaccine targets Streptococcus pneumonia bacteria.
and those bacteria cause a lot of different things.
They do. Pneumonia, serious blood infections called sepsis, meningitis again. And they're also a very common cause of those painful ear infections in little kids. So, yeah, the pneumococcal vaccine has made a huge difference in preventing all of those.
Oh, okay. And the last one, usually around 2 months, is rotavirus, RV.
Yes, rotavirus. This protects against the virus that is the most common cause of severe diarrhea and vomiting in infants and young children worldwide.
The really bad stomach bug.
Exactly. It's super contagious and can lead to serious dehydration, sometimes requiring hospitalization for IV fluids. So preventing rotavirus is a big deal for keeping babies healthy and out of the hospital.
Makes sense. Okay, moving on. Around 6 months old, the big one is the flu vaccine.
Yes, the annual flu vaccine. The guide is really clear that it's recommended for everyone 6 months and older every year, with very few exceptions.
Even for healthy kids.
Absolutely. People sometimes underestimate the flu, but it can make even healthy children very sick, leading to complications like pneumonia or requiring hospitalization. Plus, the flu virus changes each year.
Mutates, right.
Exactly. So you need that updated shot each year for the best protection against the strains that are expected to circulate.
Okay, annual flu shot starting at 6 months. Then we jump to the 12 to 18-month window. More key vaccines here.
Right. This is typically when kids get their first dose of MMR, measles, mumps, rubella again. Usually, 2 doses are needed for full protection, but the guide notes a third might be recommended during local outbreaks.
And we shouldn't forget how serious those diseases can be. Measles isn't just spots.
Not at all. Measles can cause pneumonia, brain swelling, even death. Mumps can lead to deafness or meningitis, and rubella is especially dangerous. If a pregnant woman catches it, it can cause devastating birth defects. So MMR is incredibly important.
Definitely. Also in this time frame, 12 to 18 months, is varicella for chickenpox.
Yes, the chickenpox vaccine. Most kids get 2 doses of this one too. And while many think of chickenpox as just itchy spots,
It can be worse.
it can be, sometimes leading to serious complications like skin infections, pneumonia, or brain swelling, requiring hospitalization. It's also extremely contagious, meaning kids miss school or daycare and can spread it to vulnerable people.
And the guide mentions you can sometimes get MMR and varicella together.
That's right, as a combination vaccine called MMRV for the first dose. Fewer pokes, which is always nice.
Always a bonus. Okay, and the last one highlighted for this age group is hepatitis A.
Yes, Hep A. This protects against another type of serious liver disease. It's usually given as 2 shots, about 6 months apart, and provides lifelong protection.
And how does Hep A spread?
Usually through contaminated food or water or close personal contact with an infected person, and someone can be infected and spread it even before they show any symptoms.
So vaccination is really the best prevention. You know, the guide makes a good point. Hearing all these names, DTaP, HIB, IPV, MMRV, it can sound really intimidating.
It really can sound like alphabet soup, but behind each of those acronyms is protection against a potentially serious illness. They're like tiny bodyguards, really.
That's a good way to put it. Which, naturally, leads to the question on so many parents' minds.
Right.
How safe are these vaccines, and how well do they actually work?
The million-dollar question, right? And the guide does a great job explaining the rigorous process. Vaccines go through so much testing before they ever reach the public.
It's not a quick process.
Far from it.
Yeah.
First, there are extensive clinical trials, often involving thousands of people, to evaluate effectiveness. Does it actually prevent the disease? And safety, what are the side effects?
Okay, trials first, then what?
Then, all that data gets poured over by an independent committee of experts, the Vaccines and Related Biological Products Advisory Committee, or VRBPAD. They advise the FDA, the Food and Drug Administration.
So, independent review before the FDA even approves it.
Exactly. And only if the FDA is satisfied with the safety and efficacy data will they approve the vaccine.
But it doesn't even stop there, right?
No. After FDA approval, another expert group, the Advisory Committee on Immunization Practices, ACIP, at the CDC, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, reviews everything again. They make the specific recommendations about who should get the vaccine and when, that schedule we talked about.
Okay, multiple layers of expert review.
And even after a vaccine is in use, safety monitoring continues. The CDC and FDA have systems like VAERS, Vaccine Adverse Event Reporting System, to constantly watch for any potential safety issues, especially very rare side effects that might not show up until millions of doses are given.
So it's ongoing surveillance.
Constant vigilance. It's a multi-layered system designed purely to ensure vaccines are as safe and effective as possible.
When you lay it all out like that, the guide's conclusion makes sense. Vaccines offer a lifetime of protection, and that protection is worth it.
Absolutely. And given how much information, and unfortunately misinformation is out there, especially online, the guide strongly advises being really careful about your sources.
Yeah, fact-checking is crucial. Be skeptical of things you see on social media from unknown sources, right?
Definitely. Stick to trusted sources like the CDC, the World Health Organization, your state health department, and most importantly, talk to your child's doctor or nurse. They know your child's health history.
They're your partner in this. And the guide specifically mentions Omega Pediatrics as being a great resource and partner for families navigating all this.
They really emphasize that partnership. And look, if anything we've talked about today sparked more questions, or if you want to read about a specific vaccine in more detail,
And you should definitely visit their website.
exactly, please go to omegapediatrics.com. They have really comprehensive, reliable information there to help you feel confident. It's an excellent resource.
It really is. So let's wrap this up. The key takeaway here is that vaccines are a proven, safe, and incredibly effective tool for protecting our kids from diseases that used to cause widespread harm.
Understanding the different types, why the schedule is structured the way it is, hopefully, that empowers you as a parent.
And knowledge is power here. So once again, for all the details, for answers to your specific questions, please visit omegapediatrics.com.
Couldn't agree more. Check out omegapediatrics.com.
And hey, if you found this conversation helpful, please give us a like. It really helps others find this info. And subscribe to the channel for more deep dives like this one.
Yeah, and share this with any other parents you know who might be going through this decision-making process.
We're all trying to do the best for our kids, right? Partnering together to keep them healthy.
That's the goal. Thanks so much for tuning in today.
Thanks, everyone. Goodbye.